brands ourselves. So we really need to know how to sell ourselves. We know how to sell those things that we produce so that we can make money. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yes?
Richard, just one moment, please.
Okay.
Trying to log into YouTube. Yes, we are good to go. Go
Very
ahead.
good. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Grace is our DJ tonight. I am on this side of the mic. Thank you very much for carving time to come and get it right. You have to get it right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to look at the science of selling. The science of selling, the facts, the statistics, the good things about selling, because we have to sell our services, we have to sell our product so that we can pay our bills, so that we can go on tours, so that we can do a lot of things. And today we have an amazing, amazing guest, a person who knows the nuts and the bolts of selling. In his life, he has been in the space of selling. But before we dive into the conversation of the science of selling, we are going to talk about the people who have sponsored, the organizations that have sponsored this particular conversation tonight. Number one, we have Pathway Solutions. They provide learning management systems. And if you are a member of Get It Right, Atara Solutions platform, you get a discount. Can you just imagine how awesome that is? You will get a discount. Just go and say, I am a member of Get It Right, Atara Solution. Can I get my discount? You will get a discount and you will be a very happy learner. Then we have Labor Planet. They deal with labor outsourcing issues. If you want to outsource labor, it is Labor Planet. They know their stuff very well. Then we have Nile Front Cottage. Absolutely beautiful, magical, majestic, the source of River Nile. If you want to go and rest, it is Nile Front Cottages that you need to go. In Uganda, El Semea in Kenya, where we always have the action. If you want to go and relax, solo, a group, it's El Semea that you should think about, where you will get the best view of certain places that you've not seen. Magical, beautiful, and all the good things about relaxation. Remember, relaxation is one of the ways that we manage stress. Then from Rwanda, I've gone to Rwanda. It is very, very clean. I have gone there. We have K2 Human Resource. If you're in Rwanda and you want to do human resource, the people to do with are K2 Human Resource. Then we have Steadfast, they're a consulting firm in Uganda where our guest speaker comes from. We are so happy to have him. If you want any management issues, business issues for your organization and you're in Kampala, Steadfast are the people to talk to. Then we have Essence Park. Essence Park, they deal with the health and safety issues. If you want to talk about health and safety issues for your organization, Essence Park are the people to talk to. Then we have Panessa. If you want that very expensive, you want that very beautiful, if you want that very good chair, that very good bed, Panessa Training Institute are the places that you should go and check all the good things that are created out of good. Then we have Profiles International. They are at the cutting edge of emotional intelligence, psychometric tests, and all that is related to recruitment. So if you want to do recruitment tests, personality tests, Profile International are the people to talk to. Then comes to the people who give us the tastiest and juiciest cashew nuts, Kapla Mentito. When you're in the coast, you want cashew nuts, those are the people to talk to. I am an addict of cashew nuts. Please don't take your tea, your coffee without cashew nuts from Kapla Mentito. And of course, we cannot forget getting it right. Atara Solutions are the main sponsors of this particular conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a very special guest from Kampala who is going to assist us unpack how, why, what is the science of selling. We have Dennis Kipko Mosque. I will let him pronounce that because it is quite long and difficult. I'll let him tell us how to pronounce that, to do the science of pronunciation on that name. Dennis, if you can be able to describe the friends of Dennis, describe him as a result-oriented person. He is single-minded on results. So he's going to tell us how do we become single-minded and results-focused when we want to look at the science of selling our products and services, even ourselves as brands. In terms of education and the courses he has undergone, so that he has a right to talk to us about the science of selling. He has attended International Finance Corporation, LPI certification, that is what he has. CEO Apprenticeship Program, Forum Strathmore Business School, Kampala, Nairobi. Then Leading Performance 2014, Dar es Salaam. Then Credit Skills Assessment Program, Omega Performance 2010, the United States of America. Those are the courses. And to crown it, is a student or a practitioner of economics. He graduated from Makerere University, Kampala. His core competencies include and not limited to business unit optimization, sales training and management, product development. He is an expert at product development. For those people who have problems with product development, Dennis is your person. Then channel productivity, physical and digital. He's an expert in digital issues. Then he is an expert in strategy formulation and optimization. For those people who have difficulties in optimizing and the formulation and implementation of strategy, Dennis is the first person you should call. Then is an expert in effective market campaigns, whether it is digital, whether it is physical. Dennis is your man. And there are various positions he has been able to have as an expert in sales. Managing Director, Top Finance Bank, Executive Director, Chief of Business, then Head of Retail, DFCU Bank, Head of Distribution, Stanbic Bank, Head of Sales, Stanbic Bank, National Head of Sales, Standard Chartered, Head of Lending Products, Standard Chartered, Head of SME, Standard Chartered, Head of Business Banking, DFCU Bank, Head of Personal Credit, DFCU Bank. Then he has achieved so many things, which include customer numbers, product solution uptake, balance sheets, profitability, staff productivity, customer net promoter score, brand enforcement. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the list is long, and the next 30 minutes, please grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your Kapla Mentito cashew nuts. Let us listen and take notes. Dennis, take it away. Only gems, only nuggets. Welcome. Karibu, Dennis.
Thank you very much, Richard. It's a pleasure being here. I hope that you can hear me. Richard, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure being here. And Just before I get into the gist of the matter, I would like to give thanks to Atara Solutions for allowing me to have this platform. I'd like to give thanks to our hosts, Richard and Grace. And also, I would like to give thanks to our sponsors who have made this moment possible. And very, very warm regards to our guests who have taken off time from their busy schedules to be in this room. Richard, I will share my screen so that we can get into the presentation. Is that acceptable?
Yes, please go ahead and do it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very, very privileged to be here to speak about the science of sales. And as I was thinking about this topic, I was just thinking about what many of you think about salespeople. Many of us, we think about a salesperson, the picture of a salesperson, that the salesperson is that fast talking individual who will tell you lies. Many of us salespeople are not liked very much, but today I'm happy to share with you that we are not all bad. And I hope that by the end of this presentation, I will have been able to communicate that sales is everybody, and sales is actually a science as opposed to an art. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel extremely privileged and honored to share with you a subject that has afforded me a career. I joined banking 25 years ago in Standard Chartered Bank as a teller. I left banking as a director. I was in the CEO suite, and it is just because of sales. I believe that it is because of sales that I was able to grow and grow very, very fast. And you will agree with me that unlike other disciplines in business, numbers don't lie. If you have numbers, if you are able to deliver numbers, whether your boss likes you, they don't like you, numbers don't lie, and you can grow. I retired from employment. It's coming to 2 years. And again, I continue to draw a sustenance from the skills that I have learned in sales. And I hope that in this evening, I can be able to share with you some of the nuggets like Richard very generously introduced. My name is Dennis Kibuka Msoke. It is Kibuka Msoke in Kenya, and it is Chibuka Msoke in Uganda. It has 6 syllables. It is, I believe, a simple African name. Sales is important, in my view, in my honest opinion. Sales is the blood of any business. If you are running a duka, you need customers. So, for instance, if you are running a duka and you have 3 customers, depending on whether those customers are alive, depending on whether those customers are sick, you will close down. But sales is important, from a business as small as a duka to a large Fortune 500 customer company to the biggest taxpayers in East Africa, because sales alone determines growth. I believe very, very strongly that sales is the blood of the business, and without sales, the business will not only fail to grow, but it will die. Ladies and gentlemen, I work with Steadfast Quality Solutions as a senior partner. My partner is Herbert Zake. He's on he's in this meeting. And what is Steadfast Quality Solutions? We are a Ugandan company that was founded in 2011. So we have 13 years under our belt. We have 13 years of success. We are engaged in consulting, coaching, and training in our consultancy. We have over 15 subject matter experts, and the combined years of experience is over 200 years of experience. That means that we are relatively old men and women with a bit of wisdom. We have a bit of skill. I'm happy to be sharing some of that here today. We have provided services to banking, a lot of banking, but really companies in the financial sector. We have provided services to insurance companies, FMCGs, fast-moving consumer goods, NGOs, telcos, education, and hospitality. Those are some of the clients that we have provided services to. And our expertise is within sales, strategy, banking. We run technical courses in banking, operations, finance, and customer success. Ladies and gentlemen, we train sellers. I have been a seller, so we train sellers. We train sales managers. I have been a sales manager. We also train sales leaders. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to share with you that there is a difference between sellers, the skills that a seller needs to succeed. There's a difference between the skills of a seller and the skills of a sales manager. There's also a difference between the skills of a sales manager and those of a sales leader. In one of the places that I worked, I managed 7 direct reports and 820 sellers across different businesses in Africa. And the skills that I needed as a sales leader are not the skills that a sales manager needs, and they are also beyond the skills that a salesperson needs. I will attempt to summarize in 30 minutes a course that we usually run in 8 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Who is Dennis Chibuka-Msoke? Dennis Chibuka-Msoke has worked for a number of financial institutions in Uganda, and these include Standard Chartered Bank, Stanbic Bank, DFCU Bank. I was MD for Top Finance Bank. I also worked for an MDI. It was called EFC, and I am now in the business of supporting financial institutions and other customers to grow. I have 25 years experience in financial institutions, mainly in sales, in strategy, and in SME development. During the course of my career, ladies and gentlemen, I have led a team where I've seen the increase in average product holding per customer. I've seen average product holding increase from 2.3 products to 3.2 products in 12 months. That was in a Tier 1 bank. I have led a team where we saw an increase in sales staff productivity in volume by 4 times in 90 days, in under 100 days. I have led a team where I've seen an increase in loan sales value by 427% in 6 months. During my career, when I was MD, I launched an app, or me and the team launched an app which enabled customer onboarding during the lockdown between March and June of 2020, and we increased our customer base, active customer base, to close to 300. I think that number was 293%. This was during the first lockdown. I have led a team in an MDI where I saw an increase in the customer deposits by 208% in 20 months. I am currently working with Steadfast Quality Solutions Limited, the partner where we support financial institutions in all tiers. We support telcos. We support other companies, including FMCGs, on sales training, coaching, product development, strategy, and commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic that I'm discussing today is the science of sales. So I thought that I would start simply defining what science is. What is a science? Or science. Science is the pursuit and application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world following a systematic methodology based on evidence. There are a number of people who say that sales is an art. I don't believe that sales is an art. I believe that sales is a science, because the way that I think about an art is that an art has a bearing on talent, but a science has a bearing on formula that you can use. What is the science of sales, ladies and gentlemen? The science of sales is a systematic application of the principles, strategies, and techniques to optimize the sales process for better results. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak about the science of sales, I would like you to think about the definition of sales. I don't have the opportunity of asking you to put up your hand so that you can tell me your definition of sales, but I actually believe that many of you ladies and gentlemen, in this room would define sales as the exchange of goods or services for money. You would define sales as the exchange of money for money. But I have a definition about sales, which is my own definition. I'm sorry you will not find it on Google. You will not find it in the dictionary. My definition of sales is simply that sales is the ability to influence. I believe that sales is the ability to influence. I thought that I would share with you a slide on marketing so that I could just tell you briefly what is the difference between sales and marketing, because many times sales and marketing are interchanged in a number of situations. I believe that marketing provides air cover. When we speak about marketing, we speak about such interventions like partnerships, influencers. Today we speak about influencers a lot. We speak about search engine optimization. We speak about social media. We speak about sponsorships. We speak about events. I'm only mentioning a few of these. So marketing provides air cover to the salesperson. But sales is not about air cover. Sales leverages on the air cover that marketing has provided. And sales is a touch spot, as I will be sharing with you shortly. I have learned over the years, ladies and gentlemen, that sales is about influence. And my definition of influence is that influence is the capacity to have an effect on the decision or behavior of a person, of a human being. When we speak about influence, I think about life, and sales is life. Sales is real, and sales is very, very important. I think for me in business, sales is the most important aspect, but also in life, I believe that sales is a very, very important aspect. Life gives us a lot of opportunities to influence. I think about these opportunities as sales opportunities. Many times, ladies and gentlemen, you will be called upon, or you will get an opportunity to present your goods and services to potential clients. And everybody knows that that is selling. You'd be called onto a platform and they say, Patrick, tell us about your goods and services. And this is a sales opportunity that we know about. But when you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, it is about influencing. You've been given an opportunity to influence. So sometimes we face an interview panel, and I know that a number of people in this meeting have faced an interview panel. I know that a number of people in this meeting are going to face an interview panel between now and the time that they die. But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're facing an interview panel, it is about influence. You are influencing that panel to give you a job. You are influencing that panel to give you an opportunity to earn a living. Okay, so it is a sales discussion. When you face an interview panel, it is a sales discussion. Number 3, when you go into an appraisal in the middle of the year or at the end of the year, it is about how you're going to influence. I always tell the people that I coach that when you get into an appraisal discussion, you must own the room, whether your appraisal is good or whether your performance is good or your performance is not so good, or even when your performance is very, very bad. One of the tips that I want to share, because this is the opportunity that I have to share, ladies and gentlemen, that when you go into an appraisal discussion and your numbers are good, ensure that you go with graphs and lines and bar graphs and colors. And if you may, I would suggest that you even put a trophy to show your leader that you've actually done well, that you've actually nailed it. But if your numbers are not so good, I would propose, I would suggest very, very strongly that you'll go there with pie charts and you show the opportunity that is there and you show the opportunity that you missed. And then you make a promise that these opportunities that I missed, as this pie chart presents, I am going to be able to get these opportunities in the next period. But ensure that when you go out, you meet this, because one of my leaders told me one time, and I believed him and I've experienced it, that you must make a promise with a plan, because a promise without a plan will get you fired. You will have an opportunity to sell, an opportunity to influence when you are acquiring a significant other. Men who are trying to get wives will use words like, I am going to take care of you. I am going to look after you for the rest of your life. I am going to ensure that you have everything that you need. I'm going to be with you through thick and thin. But it is a sales opportunity you are trying to influence. I think about that as a sales pitch, ladies and gentlemen. Going further, selecting the right course for your child. That when you're selecting a course for your child, when you're discussing with your child who's going to university, and they're thinking about doing a course, you just need to be careful that you have a sales pitch that is ready when you get into that discussion, because some of the courses that our children pick, we get the feeling that our children are going to do these courses and they are never going to be independent of us, or to be specific, independent of our money. So you might need a sales pitch to be able to sell that to your child. We have situations where we have to debate with our spouses at times when there is a competition between a telenovela and a football match. And there are men who will decide that I am not even going to have this discussion. I will stop right now and I will go and watch my football team, or I will watch my football match in the bar. And I'm here to tell you, gentlemen, that if you do this, you're a mediocre salesperson. You can't be a super salesperson if you can be able to debate and you have the opportunity to watch the football match. And the ladies, you can still be able to debate and you watch your telenovela during that time. Sometimes we have to convince a 3-year-old to eat their porridge, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a sales pitch. What am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? I believe that 70%, in my opinion, in my unresearched opinion, 70% of the conversations that we have, 70% of the human interactions we have are actually sales pitches. Think about them. What am I saying? Anyone can sell, but everyone must sell, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that I have grown in my career through being able to sell. I believe that I am making the money that I am making now in retirement because of my ability to sell. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, one of my sayings is that show me a giant in business, show me a giant in religion, show me a giant in politics, and I will show you a super salesperson who is not a mediocre. Today, I am going to share with you some of the modules in sales, and one of the modules I would want to talk about is customer profiling. And what is customer profiling? Customer profiling, before you get into a sales discussion, that you need to profile your customer. I've spoken about different opportunities for conversations, that when you're going to have a discussion with somebody with a man that you believe you're going to convince and they marry you, you need to profile this person. And how do you profile this person? There's a profiling. And one of the ways that you profile is that you will need to break it down in terms of which customer, what is it that I'm going to talk to about this person? So the modules that we are going to talk about customer profiling. I will tell you a little bit about analyzing data. I will tell you a bit about engagement. I will tell you about conversation, because in the conversation is where the rubber meets the road. What I may have not told you earlier is that in a sales conversation, as opposed to marketing, that sales is usually most effective when it is face-to-face. That in sales, it is either face-to-face or it is on the phone, that there has to be a conversation, and we'll talk about the conversation. I will tell you a bit about handling objections. Handling objections, ladies and gentlemen, is a science. In sales, one of the modules of sales is negotiation. There is a presentation, there is personal branding. We won't be able to cover this in the time that we have today, but maybe Richard and Grace will call me again another time so that I can talk about this. What is customer profiling, ladies and gentlemen? Customer profiling, when I think about customer profiling and I think about sales, is that you're not going to sell to the whole world. You're not going to sell to the whole world and you be effective. You need to think about what is called a niche. Okay? And when you're thinking about a niche, one of the things that I think about always when I'm profiling customers is the slogan that goes, aim small, miss small. That if you're going to shoot a person who is 10 meters away and you have a shotgun and you have to aim and kill this and shoot this person, you aim for the nose so that you can be able to get the face. So when you speak about customer profiling, I believe in aim small, miss small. And I think about 6 questions. The first one is, who is my customer? You need to be able to bring down your customer to to a profile that you can be able to relate with, a profile that you can be able to understand. For example, you can say that my customer is female. My customer is between the age of 35 and 40 years. My customer should be earning this range of income. My customer should be working for this employer. My customer should be staying in this neighborhood. And same applies for a customer, for a company. If you're thinking about, or if your sales craft is in what we call B2B, or business to business. Okay. The second question is, what does my customer need? Okay. And when you think about what the customer needs, I would, what my recommendation or my training has taught me, that you need to see the world from the lenses of the customers. You need to wear the specs of the customers or the eyes of the customers, and you see the world from their lenses. Because many times the pushy salespeople, the mediocre salespeople, they will go and they start to sell, and they will sell their product. They will sell their benefits. But it is important that as a salesperson, as a super salesperson, you think about what the customer needs so that you can be able to sell it to them in the way that they see it, in the way that they understand it. The third question on customer profiling is, how can I appeal to the customer logically? When we think about selling logically appealing, we speak about things like price. We will tell them the price, that is logic. And then we start talking about, I have a better price, I have a competitive price. We'll tell them about the features of the product. We will show them the product. Sometimes if you're not selling banking or insurance, you will show them the product so that they can appeal to their senses and they buy the product, okay? The fourth question, or the fourth question that you need to answer, which is beyond the logical, is how can I appeal to the customer emotionally? Ladies and gentlemen, in the recent past, I've had an opportunity to sell insurance, and I sell life insurance. So as you're selling life insurance, you can go logical and you tell the customer that this is the policy that I am selling you for 250,000. You will be able to get, your family will be able to get 15 million shillings when you die. That is logical. And then you tell them how it works. But then I have learned to tell stories. That emotional selling is about telling stories. Stories are powerful because stories give your customer the opportunity to be in the story. The stories give your customers the opportunity to picture themselves that they're in this movie. And I'll tell you that when I'm selling life insurance now, when I'm training people to sell insurance, we talk about the stages of calamity. We talk about a situation of when somebody understands that they have a terminal illness. And then we talk about the financial situation. We talk about the pain that they take their family through. And we talk about the fact that this person could go and leave their family in problems or calamity. The fifth question is, when is the best time for this conversation? It is important that you know the best time for the conversation. And thinking about the time for the conversation also depends on the product that you're selling. I'll tell you that when I sold loans, when I sold accounts, earlier on in my career, I brought my time of the conversation down to about 8 minutes. My conversation was 8 minutes, that within 8 minutes, I could be able to sell an account. But I didn't do that on the first day. I remember that the first time that I was given an opportunity to sell, it took me half a day to sell my first account. And I thought about the numbers. You think about the numbers. Today, when I'm selling life insurance, it takes me 2 hours to be able to make a sale. So you need to think about the time it is going to take you, and then you will prepare the customer and you will get the customer at the spot. The last one is what if, ladies and gentlemen. And the what if in customer profiling is, what if I am wrong about who is my customer? What if I am wrong about what they need? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it about customer profiling. And customer profiling, ladies and gentlemen, is a science. Moving on, the other module is about engagement. And many times we will meet customers, or many times we will have data. These days we leverage a lot on data. We will analyze the data. At the end of the analysis of the data, we will have a list of customers. We will have their ages probably. We will have their telephone numbers. It is easier now to sell. It is easier to do analysis than it was even 5 years ago, because we are now in the age of AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning and data. So it is easier to profile the customer before you speak to them. But ladies and gentlemen, this customer is a suspect. They are nothing but a suspect. When I talk about a suspect, I am talking about a suspect in the science of sales, not the suspect that is wanted by the police, ladies and gentlemen. That they are suspects, and then you need to have a bit of engagement. Maybe it is not a physical engagement, but it is an engagement of their minds, whereby you will be able to bring them closer or to turn them into prospects. And how do I know that a customer is a prospect? When does a customer become a prospect? Because they become a prospect because they have some common characteristics. For instance, you are selling something for business people, and this customer clearly owns a business, okay? You are selling hair products, and you find that this lady has a lot of hair, she has a lot of natural hair, so they become a prospect. And then, engaging further, the customer becomes a lead. A customer becomes a lead when you're sure, or you're almost sure, that they need your solution. You zero it down and you speak to them and they need your solution, they become a lead. A customer becomes an opportunity when you actually start the sales conversation, which we are going to go into in a jiffy, that when you get into the sales conversation, the customer becomes an opportunity, and you can win this opportunity, or you can lose this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to share with you that sales is about the game of numbers. Sales is a science because it's about the game of numbers. When you think about suspects, prospects, leads, and opportunities, depending on your type of business, it is possible that you will talk to 100 people to get 1 win, or you will talk to 2 people to get 1 win. And in some businesses, for the super sales people, like the ones that, like what I want to make you today, or the beginning of the journey of becoming a super salesperson, it is 1-to-1 in some of the, of the products. That I speak to a customer, one customer, and I speak to one potential customer, and I get 1 person to buy. I want to just share with you that a long time ago, when very many years ago, when I was given an opportunity to sell loans, I used to sell personal loans for one of the banks. Eventually, I sold personal loans for 4 banks. But one of the banks where I started from selling personal loans, I was given a target that bring in at least 1 customer a week. And then I set myself a target that I'm going to bring in 1 customer a day. What does that mean? When you think about 1 customer a day, it should speak to the length of your conversation. It should speak to how many suspects do I need to consider? How many prospects do I need to engage? How many leads do I have to engage? And how many wins do I need to get? But when I started off with a few customers a week. I refined my game to 1 customer a day. And I said that in the active hours of work, they're about 8 hours, I get 1 customer. I refined this game to an account in the morning, 2 customers a day, which meant, when you break it down, that I would get a customer to take a loan in the morning and a customer to take a loan in the afternoon. You break it down. So that spoke about, or that pointed me to how many customers do I need to talk to so that I get 2 customers a day. Later on, we were able to refine this to 4 customers a day. That means that we got 1 customer every 2 hours. And over time, this is the science that I have taught my team. We don't have a lot of time, but this is the science that I would like you, ladies and gentlemen, to think about. Because unlike sciences, engineering and medicine, the science of sales is the easiest one because you are already a salesperson and you have the basics already, whether you know it or not. But when we speak about the numbers, we play the numbers game, you need to think about how many people do I talk to so that I can convert them? Whether you're running a business, whether you're having discussions with your family members, whether you are employed and they have given you a target of sales, they have given you a target to influence members, you're in HR, wherever you are, you need to think about what is my succession rate? What is the rate of success that I have? How many people do I need to speak to? And then conversion is important. That the super sales people, they speak to 1-to-1. We speak about a funnel, and from the last slide, that is from suspects to winning is a funnel. And a funnel looks like that. And when we are speaking about the sales funnel, we speak about lead generation. How do you generate your leads? We speak about lead qualification. How do you qualify your leads? Sometimes you qualify your leads by trying. Sometimes you qualify your leads by logic. We speak about nurturing the leads. How do you engage this lead that is a prospect to become a real lead? So when we speak about leads, they are cold leads, they are warm leads, they are really hot leads. Sometimes we go and we sell door to door. We knock on the door and then we tell them, I am Dennis, I am from SQS, and I would like to tell you about SQS. And they're really cold. Cold leads are cold. They're like ice cubes that you need to get them into the zone where they need to get into. They need to get into your conversation. They need to get into your zone so that you are able to sell to them. Some of the leads are warm. And what is a warm lead? A warm lead is when Grace tells me that, Dennis, please go and see Herbert. I have already spoken to Herbert and they're expecting you. They're a warm lead. And then some of the leads are hot, especially for some of us who have sold loans, that sometimes you know that it is school fees time and these people actually need the money and they are hot leads. So the sales funnel is about closing leads, the conversations that we'll have. I'm going to spend a bit of time on the conversation. And then after you have the conversation and you've won the customer, there is what we call the post-sale engagement. Why post-sale engagement is important? Because it will give you opportunities to cross-sell, it will give you opportunities to upsell, it will give you opportunities to discuss with the customer or ask the customer, who else might need my product? Who else falls in the category like you? Who else do you hang out with? And then the last one on the sales, when we speak about the sales funnel, is the analysis of the metrics of sales. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk about the sales conversation. When we talk about the science, this is, for me, the most important part of the science of sales. The sales conversation has 4 known parts, and they are opening, that you need to open the conversation, okay? The second one is about investigating. Investigating is about finding out what is it that the prospect needs, where are they, and what is it that they need. The third one is about demonstrating capability. And demonstrating capability is the discussion or what you say to match what you have, what you are selling with the needs that you have investigated. And then the fourth one, ladies and gentlemen, is obtaining commitment. And obtaining commitment is about closing. Let me take you back a bit and let us cover these stages one by one. Opening. What is important about opening? What is important about opening is that you need to have a sales pitch. We spoke about influencing. We spoke about a scenario whereby you're convincing your child in the line of education that they need to take. Think about it, that you need to have an opening statement. So unfortunately for my friends who are on this call, my relatives who are on this call, I have an opening, a sales pitch for every conversation, almost every conversation that I have. And that has taken me places. And I want to share with you that a sales pitch is about having, using the right words to get the person that you're speaking to, that you're selling to understand that you have something that is in this discussion for them. So in your sales pitch, it is important that you speak about, that you use some keywords that are going to get the person to understand that there is something in this for me. There is an example that I use sometimes. There is, for those of you who have been in mixed schools, I think all of us have been in mixed schools, that there was that boy who spoke to all the girls and convinced them to like him, okay? And I don't want to use a stronger word than like. So, he convinced them to like them. When you think about this boy, and for people who have encountered this boy, the ladies and the men, this guy used the same words for every girl. He had a sales pitch, okay? So it is important that when you're selling a product, you have a sales pitch, and you will recite this sales pitch to yourself. And it is not really, really silly all the time to recite it to your significant other, to recite it to the mirror, and then you perfect it, okay? For example, I will tell you that my name is Dennis from SQS, and I have solutions that will likely grow your business 4 times. It is my sales pitch. when I'm thinking about the company that I work with. It is important that you have a sales pitch. When you have a sales pitch and it is strong, it will break the silence, it will break the ice. But the more that you practice this sales pitch, the more you will get confident. The more you'll be confident, and you will lose the stage fright, even if you are speaking to 500 people. Okay. The second one is about investigating. And when we talk about investigating, it's not the investigating of police. It is the investigating where you want to understand that where am I going to meet this person? And there are just two things. You ask open-ended questions. Okay. So for those of us who sell in, to business people, we ask them, how is business? Okay. It is open-ended, because if you ask them, and for instance, you're selling internet solutions, and then you have a wonderful sales pitch, and then you go to somebody and you're selling them internet solutions, and then you start with, so where do you buy your internet from? They will tell you that I buy my internet from X. And then you tell them, so how much do you pay for your internet? How much do they give you? Do you feel, are you getting value for money? And the customer will tell you yes, no. Now, this is a conversation that is not, it's not enjoyable. The conversation that is enjoyable is the conversation where you ask open-ended questions like, how is business? And sometimes you will ask how is business, and the customer will close it by saying, business is good. And then the super salesperson is going to push further, and they say, how do you know that it is good? And then you will continue probing and asking open-ended questions until the person opens up. A simple rule of humanity is that people like to talk about themselves. People like to talk about their businesses. Ask open-ended questions. The science is to get the customer into a place whereby you can speak about what you want to speak about to them about. And then the second rule of investigation is listening. And we listen sometimes we don't listen effectively. Sometimes we forget that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Many times mediocre people will listen to respond. They know that the customer is going to ask me this. And even I've been in situations where people are trying to sell me something, and as I'm speaking, the salesperson says, I know what you're going to say. And between you and me, when somebody tells me that I know what you're going to say, what I think about is that you are silly, and I can't even buy anything from you. But when you listen, and you listen actively, listening actively means that you're going to show the customer that you're listening. You will listen actively by nodding. You will listen actively by noting in your notebook. You will listen actively by mirroring what's the posture of the customer. If the customer is laid back, you might want to lay back. You will listen actively by looking at them in the eyes. You will also listen actively by describing the emotions, especially when the customer is telling you about a bad situation. If a customer told you that, and you were speaking about their business, and they say that I went through a hard time last month because my store caught fire. Okay, so the mediocre salesperson will tell the customer, sorry. What I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, super salespeople, never use the word sorry. Never use the word sorry to your wife, to your child, when they have gone through a situation, something that is psychologically powerful, something that I have learned, something that I've used, something that I've taught is describe the emotion. So the customer says, and I lost everything in a fire. You describe the emotion by saying, you must have felt devastated. You must have, you speak about the emotion. And then the next one, the last stage is obtaining commitment that we call closing. And in every business, there has to be a closing signal, a signal for closing. In every, when you're influencing, when you're talking to all these people, that they must be a signal for closing. So where I come from in banking, closure meant completely reform. In some cases, closure means that the customer is going to give you their phone number. Something that I've found that is very, very powerful is that you give them your phone, and they do an action, and they put their phone in your phone. They write their phone in your phone, and in some of the situations, the customer pays. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sales conversation. However, we have a little black man who sometimes interrupts this conversation between stage 3 and stage 4. And this black man, this little black man, is called objections. So I'm sure many of you have been in a situation whereby you feel that you're going to closing, and then the customer comes up with, but you're too expensive. The customer says, you're too expensive. We have had this in banking, but this is just an example of the objections that we face. I want to share with you today, ladies and gentlemen, that when a customer tells you that you're too expensive, and then you start thinking about cutting the price, or reducing the price not only decreases your revenue in these very, very hard times, but it also reduces the value of what you're selling. Cutting the price reduces your brand in front of the customer. Cutting the price reduces your significance, your importance to this customer. And I am telling you today that you should never talk about price unless you really must. Because I'll tell you that we price for value, and we are not the least expensive. And the person who is the least expensive probably will not survive the statistics that we speak about for businesses that survive. Okay, so I want to teach you something. I want to share with you something that I've found very, very profound in my career as a super salesperson. Okay, when a customer says that you're too expensive, you will tell them that I understand. If you have a pen, I would request that you write this down. You tell them that I understand, and then you will continue by telling them something like, I understand that the cost of this product is a concern to you. I understand that spending money is important to you. And then you will continue by telling them that, however, at my company, then you sell something else. For instance, you'll say that we will deliver to you. When you're speaking about, when you tell the customer that I understand, don't talk about the competition. Don't talk about the price. Don't talk about anything. Just tell them that I understand. And I'll tell you why. That I have learned that when you tell somebody in an argument that I understand, there is something that happens around about their waves. There is something that happens about the connection that they have with you. There is something that happens around their gut, because they will wonder that, so you understand. And sometimes they think that I've nailed you, okay? But you will continue and you state their concern, voice their concern. You say, I understand that the cost of banking is important to you. I understand that the color of the good that you have, of the car that you want to buy is important to you, and then you will sell a benefit. Okay, so the formula is that you will start with I understand, you will state their concern, and you will sell a benefit. This is far too important, because this is what defines super salespeople to mediocre salespeople from mediocre salespeople, that you will say that I understand that the cost of this item is important to you. However, at my company, we deliver to you. However, at my company, we have a robust after-sales service. However, at my company has me, so I will take care of you. I will ensure that I take care of every single detail around our relationship with your company. However, at our company, we have a high system of uptime. I have learned that this works many times, and I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you can handle objections, it is not just objections about sales, it is objections about all those influencing conversations that we had. 70%, in my opinion, of the conversations that we have with people. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two types of skills in sales. They are what we call hard sales skills. And in hard sales skills, it is product knowledge. Of course, you need to know a product. In the time that I have, or even if we had 1 week, it is possible that I'm not going to be able to teach you your product. It is important that you know your product, you know the features of your product. You need to know about your policy. You need to know about the laws that govern. You need to know about the regulations. It is important that you know that. Sales proficiency is what we have been talking about. Sales proficiency is a science. You need to know that. Okay. You need to be able to research. And when we talk about research, you need to know about the competition. Okay. The research is something that we can teach you, but you need to be able to scan your competition, and you scan them around their delivery times, you scan them around, you scan around their prices, so that you can be able to develop your product or your solution. Industry knowledge, you need to know industry knowledge. And then you can come to my company, you can call me, and then we teach you about the science of the sales plan, because within the sales plan, we have a number of modules there. There is budgeting, that you need to be able to budget. There is data analysis. You need to be able to analyze data and collect it. There is segmentation, that you need to be able to segment your customers so that you identify the niche. You need to be able to target. Resource allocation, how many salespeople am I going to put on this product? How am I going to pay them? You need to know your KPIs. KPIs, key performance indicators. You need to have some KPIs. You don't open a business and you decide that I am going to sell, and if my sales are effective, then I will have one. You need to have some numbers that are going to guide you, because if you have numbers that are going to guide you, that's when you can think about the success rate, the conversion rate. If you have numbers that are going to guide you, if you have an ambition, if you have a true north that you're chasing. And then, of course, when we speak about the sales plan, like I said, we can make it simple for you. The other skills that are not hard skills, ladies and gentlemen, is the soft skills. And when I speak about soft skills, I feel that I need to lower my voice a bit, because what happened to us in the last few years is that there was a lockdown in the whole world, and the world came to a standstill. Before the lockdown, before Corona, we used hard sales skills, and hard sales skills could get us into places. Hard sales skills could get us into, would give us effective sales. But ladies and gentlemen, after the lockdown, the world came to a standstill, and we learned that we need to employ the soft sales skills. And I will go through this very, very quickly, the way I understand them. The first one is that you need to have a growth mindset. The growth mindset is understanding the bigger picture. I'm having this conversation, I'm selling this product, my business at this point is at this point, but what is the bigger picture? And the growth mindset will give you, it will point you to a direction around pricing, it will point you to a direction around customer, how you treat customers. The other one is resilience. And for me, resilience is about recovering quickly. Resilience is about understanding that what is happening to me is not the worst thing that has happened to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that whatever you've gone through in your life, it is possible that you haven't yet met the worst between now and the time that you will die. So what is it about a sale? That if a customer bangs the door in your face, it is not the worst thing that is going to happen to you. The other skill is adaptability. And for me, my definition about adaptability is that it's what it is, okay? So if it is what it is, so what? What am I going to do about it? How am I going to get around it? The fourth one is about empathy. And many times when we speak about empathy, we bring that old example of shoes, where we say that empathy is about fitting in the shoes of somebody else. I don't believe that empathy is about fitting in the shoes of somebody else, because there is a 99% chance that you don't wear the same size. So you can't fit in their shoes. My understanding of empathy is seeing the world in the lenses of somebody else, by asking yourself the simple question that if I was on the other side, if I was the customer, empathy is how would I see this if I have these options? How would I see this if I have this amount of money? The other one is communication. We've spoken about communication. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was telling you about the conversation is not magic. The conversation is not a trick. I would like you to think about the conversation as a science. And then the other one is connection. And connection is being able to connect. And many times we connect through the conversation. Many times we connect through the investigation, asking open-ended questions and listening actively, describing the emotion. And then the last one is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is, for me, about self-awareness. It's about self-regulation. And it's about building strong relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, we have said a lot. I believe that my time is up. Richard, I would just like to end this by saying that whatever happens in a sales conversation, I remember the 3 SWN formula, that some will, some won't. So what? Next, ladies and gentlemen, sales is a game of numbers, but you won't get all of them. So don't try to push the customer who is not going to move. So what you need to do is to think about the conversion rate. Don't think about winning all, think about winning most. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I would like to open this up to questions. Richard,
Thank you so much, Dennis, for that wonderful, energetic, informative, entertaining, and quite transformative discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, before we dive into the questions, if you want talent acquisition, think of Atara Solutions. When you think of outsourcing of human resource, think of Atara Solutions. When you think of compliance issues, think of Atara Solutions. When you are thinking of learning and development, think of Atara Solutions. We call it a complete house with HR advisory services and consultancy. The other thing that I'm going to mention is, do not forget that we have our sign language interpreter, Catherine Shidandi. She's in the coast. If you want those juicy cashew nuts from Kapla Mentito, please make sure you get in touch with Catherine Shidandi. I hope I'm right where you are right now. Our program tonight was brought to you by Pathways, Labor Planet, Nile Front Cottages, El Semea, K2 Human Resource, Steadfast, Essence Park, Panessa, Profile International, and Kapla Mentito. Thank you, Dennis. Now, the first question I would like to ask you is this. And this question was asked by Emmanuel. Let me get the question from Emmanuel. Where do we go wrong in most instances when we are selling? In most cases, where do we go wrong when we are selling, especially when it relates to insurance? Where do we, in most cases, if you take about the analytics of going wrong, where do we go wrong, Dennis?
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Speaking about insurance, I always had heard that insurance sales is difficult. But I want to, first of all, share with you something that I have learned. That the hardest sales to do are sales of banking, products or solutions, and sales of insurance. Why is that so? That is so because when you're buying an insurance product, when you're buying a banking product, you can't appeal to the 5 senses. You can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't test it, okay? So as opposed to selling bread or a cake or selling hotel services, you can use your senses. So where do we go wrong around selling insurance? I'll tell you that many times we feel, or many times the mistake that insurance salespeople make is that they try to appeal to logic. But when you're selling insurance, I strongly suggest that you appeal to the emotion, that you speak about, you tell stories. I hope that I've been able to respond to you, Moses.
Thank you, Dennis. And ladies and gentlemen, okay, gentlemen, on the 22nd of June, we are going to have a men-only hangout. Men, your leaders. We need to upscale, we need to reskill, we need to rejuvenate, we need to network, because that is our network. Please mark down, please mark down, mark down, mark down. I'm going to say on the 2nd so that you can be able to write it down. On the 22nd, the venue will be provided, but the date is on the 22nd of June, men's hangout. We will look at our leadership traits, our leadership styles. We look at our power. We look at our influence on how we can excel. Please Note it down. On the 22nd, we will be having a men's only hangout. Yes, now let me read a question by Mary Kibere. On behalf of HR's department, sometimes we have a situation whereby the head of department saying, you must bring sales, you must bring sales. But how can we support the sales people? You know, you can be told, if you don't bring sales, we're going to sack you, we are going to write you, we are going to reprimand you. How do we support the sales people other than threats, other than intimidation? Over to you, Dennis.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Mary Kibere, for that wonderful question. It is pretty simple. Let us teach them the science of sales. That as opposed to telling them, go out there and get customers, let us teach them about the conversation. Let us teach them about the numbers. Let us teach them how to tell stories. That is the best way that we can support salespeople. But after we have supported them, I learned something else, that human beings, it is important that when they actually do well, we recognize them and we thank them. I learned recently that there is a difference between recognition and thanking. I will recognize and say that Patrick was the best salesperson, but I need to continue and tell them, thank you, Patrick, for what you have delivered on the team. But to answer the question in the most straightforward way that I can think about to Mary, train them, teach them.
Great. We have got to completely bring skills development. Skills development is the best way, other than using those things. We'll sack you, we'll give you a short course letter. Bring issues of talent. Bring in Dennis to really reshape and remodel their ways of doing things. That is their competence. Those are their soft skills and hard skills. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I'm behind the mic, Richard J. Magoma. I am learning from the moderator of choice, Grace. Grace is very generous. She has told me that today you should be able to be on the mic. I'm learning a lot from her. Grace Nzula, the moderator of choice, as she is popularly known as, she's a human resource professional. She is a trainer. She's a mediation expert. She's also a certified coach. So if you need, she's also the lead consultant of Atara Solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want your human resource things fixed and researched well, Grace Nzula is the person to talk to. Of course, we are on Get It Right live on Tuesday. The other question is by Brian Nzumbuga. When the customer is offered, I have a product of 10 million, and the customer suggests that they have 1 million. Dennis, how should I bring this gap to the barest minimum? How do I bring these gaps to a close? Over to you, Dennis.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, for me to ably respond to Mr. Nzumbuga, it is important to understand the context. Because if I am selling a product at 10 million and a customer wants to buy it at 1 million, that is one of three things: that either I am selling the wrong product to the wrong customer, or I'm selling, in the wrong market, or I don't know the actual value of my product. But I would rather refer Richard back to the science, and within the science, we say that we will be able to, which is important, that we can be able to identify the customers, the niche. But if it is really true that there is a product that can cost between a range of 1 million to 9 million, then I would tell them, I would direct that conversation to managing that as an objection. I understand that money is important to you. However, this product or this solution is going to give you X, Y, and Z. I submit, Richard.
Thank you, Dennis. There are two questions here. How do I know that my venture, the selling has died? But you've given us a very good analogy. that gentleman who was able to be loved by so many people, he is not loved at all. That the relationship has totally collapsed. What are the signs? The other question that has been asked by an anonymous person is, are your services tailored towards financial institutions? Over to you, Dennis.
Okay. Thank you very much, good people, for those two questions. The first one is, how do I know that my sales is not working? I think for me, the answer is in the numbers. That you will know that it has died. You will know that you know, in Uganda, there is a word that you use called vibe. You will know that you don't have vibe anymore when you are not able to convince customers. I think it is as simple as that. But after you've known, I would say that look at the product, look at the solution, look at the customers, look at the areas that we have discussed today, and then you find out that what is the cause. That sometimes it is true that your solution might be obsolete, sometimes, because you know, I'll just give an example that today, if you decided that you are going to sell VHS players, I don't believe that anybody would buy a VHS player. I don't think that even our 18-year-old children know what a VHS player is. And for the other question, Richard, and our dear participants, is do we tailor products for financial institutions? Yes, we have products that have been tailored for financial institutions around sales, around strategy, around commercialization. We have products that have been tailored to telcos. We have products that have been tailored to FMCG. And interestingly, we have some products that we have tailored around NGOs. So 3 years ago, I believe that an NGO does not have customers, an NGO does not need to sell, but we have had some interesting assignments which have been very, very successful around NGOs. So please contact us, dear participant, please contact us and let us have a conversation. And if we are not able to do it, we will tell you the truth and we'll probably point you to the right direction. I submit, Richard.
Thank you, Dennis. In other words, you go over and beyond financial institutions. The other question that is coming from Gloria Tibakunirwa, it is, where is the trick in selling consultants? While you are at it, Dennis, how do we cost consultant services? I was in another discussion and the question I was asked, how do we cost our consultants? So what are the skills of closing on consultancies and how do you cost? As a rider to that question by Gloria.
Okay. First of all, Richard, I am very, very humbled that Gloria Tibakunira is in this room. Gloria taught me a number of things earlier on in my career. And the question is, Richard, is the question about how do you sell consultancy, or is the question about how do you cost consultancy?
No, the costing is my question. The selling of consultant services is Gloria's question.
Yeah. Okay, so Richard, I will start with yours. I would really, really request that let us have that discussion outside of this call around the costing, because the costing is a more complex situation, and I will ask one of you know, my colleagues at Steadfast Quality Solutions to join the discussion. And to answer the question for Gloria, Gloria, how do you sell consultancy? And I think for me, what has worked, because I'll tell you that Steadfast has been relatively successful in the area that we have ventured into in the last couple of years. That for me, it is about understanding who is your customer. What is the niche? Who is my customer? And profiling the customer. So at a certain point, my boss gave us guidance. Herbert Zake gave us guidance, and he said, let us just sell to financial institutions. And then we sold to financial institutions. And within the financial institutions, we are able to solve a number of solutions. We are able to bring a number of subject matter experts who were able to deliver the services on board. But we later on got requests. We got clients who came and told us from the FMCG, and they came and said that I want you to teach my customers, or I want you to teach my salespeople, my distributors about this and that. So we brought other experts on board. But for me, the simple answer is know your customer and then go for a niche. And I will tell you again, I will say this again and again, aim small, miss small. Don't be a consultant for everybody. It is important that you aim. You are able to identify who is the customer that you are going to give service, and what are you going to do for them. I submit, Richard.
Thank you, Dennis. We have the last question, two last questions. One is from Laureline. She's asking, how can I turn a negative sales team around? When a team is full of negativism, how do you change them around? And Brian,
Richard, can you hear me?
yes, loud and clear.
I think I have lost you. What did Brian ask? The second one?
Brian asking, my name is Brian from Nakuru. How do I sell online tutoring to homeschool and parents and the students on holiday?
Thank you very much. And to answer the first question, how can I turn a negative sales team into a winning team? I think for me, this question, we need to get some context around responding to this question before we respond to it, because there are a number of reasons why the sales team could be negative. The sales team could be negative because of what somebody asked earlier. Earlier somebody asked the question that, as an HR person, how can I get salespeople to sell? That it is possible that you get the negative vibes, if I may call them that, because we are pushing them, go and sell without training. It is also possible that you get the negative vibes because the reward is not good enough. It is possible that you're sending them out there to sell, but the reward that you're giving them is peanuts. It is also possible that you're getting the negative vibes from the sales team because they are selling a product that is not sellable. Okay, and product not being sellable, it is possible that it has gone, past its time, or time has gone past it. It is possible that they are selling a product that has not been positioned very well in the market. But having said that, Richard, I would request that let us have a discussion. Send us an email, send us a WhatsApp. Let us have a discussion so that we can do a proper needs analysis. And on the last question, Richard, how can I sell online tutoring? I think that is a long discussion around how can you sell online tutoring. I believe that we have the answer to that, but we need to get the context. We need to do a needs analysis before we respond to you. Kindly send us an email. I submit, Richard.
Thank you, Dennis. Let me now give you positive vibes from Peter. He says that you trained him very well. You can clap for yourself, and some people can send emojis on that you have been able to have people who can remember you in terms of mentoring. We have Gloria saying perfect niche. All right, that is a compliment. What is the other compliment here? What's the other compliment? I can see people appreciating. They're sending angels. Well, good. So generally, people have been able to appreciate. I can see Gloria saying their storytelling, never thought of it that way. So that is a light bulb moment that stories. In fact, if you look at the greatest salespeople, they tell stories. Flavia, you're asking why men only? All right, I will let Grace respond to that at some point, but it is important that sometimes men meet and discuss things that probably they'll be afraid to discuss. Grace, is saying, invaluable knowledge you have shared, Dennis. Superb presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then we have Bibiria. She's asking, how about women? Probably, Grace, you should think about around women as well at some point. That is what people are saying. Then we have Ann Bogwa. Ann Bogwa is saying, fascinating nuggets in cells. Asante Sana, Dennis. That is from Stephen. Then we have, who else? Well, there is Naomi who said I joined late, but she's requesting that she gets the presentation. Wonderful. That is from Mwene Beats. Then etc. Those are the wonderful vibes that you have been given. Ladies and gentlemen, this program has been brought to you by Atara Solutions. Get it right. It is always here on Tuesdays from 8 to 9 without fail. Different topics, different thought leaders. Don't miss. I hope Jacinta, if you're around, you can share the link to join Atara Solutions. In fact, right now we are having more than 4 groups. Please join the conversation of Atara Solutions. Kindly, Jacinta, share the joining link of Atara Solutions. Atara Solutions are a HR consulting firm led by the lead consultant, Grace Nzula, the moderator of choice. Sponsors were, as you prepare for your parting shot, Dennis, were Pathway Solutions for LMS, discounted rates for those who join the link, Labor Planet, labor outsourcing, Nile Front Cottage, very peaceful place to be, magical and beautiful, El Samea in Naivasha for relaxation, K2HR in Rwanda. Of course, Steadfast Consulting Firm, they have given you their menu. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Essence Park, health and safety issues. Panessa, they do very good work. They make good chairs, they make good beds and all furniture that is related to making your home very beautiful. Then we have Profiles International for psychometric tests and personality tests as well, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have the providers of the sweet cashew nuts, Kapla Mentito. Dennis, your parting shot.
Okay. Dear participants, I would like to thank you very much for your time. I really hope that your time with us today has not been spent in vain. I hope that you have learned and you will go back and change your behavior so that you can be a super sales person. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Atara Solutions. Thank you very much, Richard, for being a great host. Thank you very much, Grace Nzula, for giving us the opportunity. Thank you very much, Catherine Sidandi, for the sign language. And a big thanks to our sponsors. Thank you very much. And for those of you who are in East Africa, I wish you a good night.
Thank you. Grace, can you be able to share the link? I am unable to do it. Please kindly share before people go. Kindly share the link to Atara Solutions for people to join.
I've texted it to you.
It is on my laptop. I can't pick it and I've not opened my laptop. I'm using my phone.
Okay, so I am just trying to log in again. But in the meantime, allow me to say, if you're looking for the recording for this meeting, it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, which is Get It Right with Atara Solutions, by Friday this week. And then if you want to join us for other webinars, we normally share on the WhatsApp groups. And of course, if you're in Uganda, Herbert Zakia is kind enough to share that. If you're in Rwanda, Stephen Karangwa is also able to share that. So for that reason, you should be able to get that. But I am going to paste our joining tube. There you go. Please join our WhatsApp group to be able to be updated on whatever is happening there. And for everyone who's asking why men only, because we already had a ladies event in March. So sorry that you missed that out. It was amazing, I must say. Our theme was the labor of love and leadership. That was amazing for most ladies in leadership It was awesome. And this time the men felt left out. So this time we want to have a men's only conversation on the 22nd of June as we celebrate Father's Day in the month of June. So please join our WhatsApp group to be able to get updates on what's happening. We'll also share the recording there as well when it's ready. So you don't want to miss out. Also, there are quite a number of conversations that take place, and you'll be able to get the links on time. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dennis, and thank you, Herbert, and the team at Steadfast Quality Solutions for this wonderful session. It was really, really amazing for us and for me especially as well. So thank you, and we look forward to having a wonderful session next week. Richard, you are awesome as always. Thank you very much. And Catherine Sidandi, our sign language interpreter, may God keep blessing you. And to all our audience, thank you for making it, get it right with the Tara Solutions. Please make sure you keep getting it right. It's progress, not perfection. And we are here every Tuesday to ensure that. Please check out our YouTube channel. There's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of trainings there that you would actually pay a premium to attend, but they're there offered to you for free, so that you can also get to become, we're on a mission to change the world through information. So one person at a time. So thank you very much, and back to you, Richard.
Thank you so much. This was your MC and moderator, Richard J. Magoma. Till another Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, good night. God bless you all. And don't forget to refine yourself. Don't forget your energies. Good night. So, Madam DJ, you can give us some piece of music as we exit the stage of getting it right.
I can't believe it, you're a dream coming true. I can't believe how I have fallen for you. You are the one who's led me to the sun. How could I know that I was lost without you? And I want to tell you, you control my brain, and you should know that you are live in my veins. Start out today.